this year, Optima has raised the bar with their Protection Plus Clean Slate program. Pay the IRS the minimum amount, not a penny more. Optima, they're number one, A-rated at the Better Business Bureau. Optima Tax Relief is the one you need.
Call 800-567-2261. 800-567-2261.
Optima Tax Relief.
If your computer is running slow, go to mycleanpc.com and get a free computer diagnosis. In minutes, you can activate MyCleanPC software to clean up the junk that may be slowing down your computer. Increase your computer speed today with mycleanpc.com. That's mycleanpc.com.
This hour on WORD is powered and charged by Battery Specialists. Got a comment?
Text 71307.
It's the Vince Coakley radio program
on 106.3 WORD.
The Upstate's talk station.
And welcome back. Doug Kellett sitting in for Vince Coakley, Monday, May 23rd edition of our program. Thanks for joining us here, and you can dial in, talk with us anytime. Email is iDougRadio@AOL.com. You can follow me on Twitter or Facebook if you'd like to correspond with me that way, and you can text us at 71307. And it's 800-347-1063. If you'd like to call in and talk with us on the program here today. Yeah, the big issue, the Supreme Court just issued something dealing with the decision in Georgia. And they ruled that the death sentence is out for an individual in Georgia who committed a crime because prosecutors kept African Americans off the jury. Well, again, we've got the case of race on a jury. I don't know the particulars necessarily of that individual case, but this once again brings up the issue of the Supreme Court, how important really court decisions turn out to be. Not only the federal level where Democrats rule so much, but also at the U.S. Supreme Court level. And that is kind of hanging in the balance. That's why I think the discussion about the Second Amendment by Donald Trump is important at the NRA, because you can redefine any of these amendments. We have had attacks on so many. Especially since sort of the liberal progressive movement began. The idea, right now, free speech is under attack everywhere. You see, if you don't like gay marriage, well, there are people who want to shut you up about that you shouldn't have a right to say it. It's legal, and you should not have an opinion that is opposite of that. Same kind of issue came down about forcing people to, do business about baking cakes and photographs and everything for gay weddings. They didn't want to do it. Well, now you have to. The same kind of thing with other parts of our Constitution. How many of the other rights have been sort of eroded, maybe on our watch? Maybe that's what bothers me so much. A lot of this has happened at a time when we know it's happening and we can't seem to get enough people interested in it. I look at some of the arguments out there, especially on the left, with the Bernie Sanders, the kind of momentum that Bernie Sanders has been operating with. And you would find it almost inconceivable, say 30 years ago. I know, that's a long time ago. 30 years, 3 decades, that anybody running on for a major nomination of a major party would ever be taken seriously if they advocated socialism, or even more than that, advocated total government control. Nobody would listen to that. Now, not only are people listening to it, they're flocking to the idea. The young people seem to be more enthusiastic than anyone for a Bernie Sanders message. Why is that, you think? How has that happened that your sons and daughters happen to be more for socialism when you're not? I was talking to somebody the other day about their kids going off to college in the fall. He's a good conservative now, but wait till he gets to school, right? And his father's all nervous about this, and I'm like, save your money. If you don't send him to a conservative sort of based institution, if you can find one, it's probably going to have a religious connotation to it. But if you can't do that, you might as well save your money, because it won't be long. You won't know anything. You'll be the dumbest guy in the family meetings, because all of a sudden the professors have told him this, and my gosh, we hire professors. They're supposed to be knowledgeable. They know everything, and they think all conservatives are a bunch of crazy, bigoted, right-wing types out there, and you got Trump flying the banner, and they think he's crazy, and so therefore you got to be crazy. It's sort of the natural sort of connection to this. So, but the young people are flocking to this idea of socialism, this idea of the government taking care of them, which is so dangerous, especially with the older sort of generation realizing and have seen firsthand how socialism, or in the name of socialism, so many countries have fallen apart, so many people have died for various reasons. Look at Venezuela. There was a story last night. I think it was on 60 Minutes about all the issues going on there. The economy is in collapse. The medical system is so bad in Venezuela right now that they say they're operating people on the floors with whatever tools they have available because there's simply no room in the hospitals for them. They have no electricity. It's being cut off because the power grid is down, and Venezuela is falling apart. And this has been because of elected socialism rule for a number of years. That's the thing. People choose this. This is not the situation where a dictator takes over and therefore he's in complete control, even though Chavez was a dictator type. But you have people wanting this, and the young people especially. They see rising debt for college tuition. But rather than ask the question, how did we get here? Why is your tuition costing so much? You've got to get a loan that puts you behind the 8 ball for the next 10 to 15 years. Why is that? Could it be that maybe salaries at universities might be overblown? Could it be that we have a sort of bloated academic system? Could it also be the government's got too involved? And when they started making all these student loans so easy to get, and then some of the lottery systems around the country provide money for students to get if you have a certain grade, that maybe the cost of tuition was going to go through the roof for everybody else? Wonder if we ever thought about that. I don't hear much discussion about it other than we need to do something about student loans. Well, the answer can be for the government to just give more free money, right? In the name of, in sort of the name of education. Also, there was a time, and it's not true anymore, where everyone didn't go to college, and it was okay because there were jobs out there that you could make very well, still can, without a college degree. Now everybody goes, therefore the cost goes up. You got to have more people on staff at a university or whatever. But I think the thing that dismays a lot of people is how they'll send their kids, and for some reason, and this is the thing that I don't understand, for some reason they're shocked when they come back, disagreeing with them about everything, telling them, no, well, wait a minute, you thought you knew what you know, but and forget all those years of experience, Dad. Right? Forget all that. You thought you knew all this, but the professor says, and he's got a lot of PhDs, a lot of numbers and letters and things behind his name, and he's supposed to be, after all, they're paying him $500,000 to tell us things. He must be very knowledgeable, right? And he might be. I remember the old Ronald Reagan quote. It's not that liberals don't know anything. It's just everything they know is wrong. Well, you're paying for it now. And we've got a young generation group, and I think they'll eventually grow out of this, the infatuation with the idea of some liberal socialist type who talks about taking money from these wealthy rich guys, which everybody likes, right? Get rid of those rich guys. Of course, you don't get jobs from poor people, but that's okay. Get rid of those rich guys. We don't like them anyway, and let's give it to somebody else. And after all, I need it. I need it more than they do, so therefore, that's only fair. And, and the system is rigged. And on it goes. The problem is that we've got even Donald Trump saying some of this, that the system is rigged. Well, what is rigged is the fact that the government continues to take more control over the economy, and therefore we don't have the opportunity. When you think that the coal miners in West Virginia and in Kentucky and parts of Indiana might think the system is rigged when the government's working feverishly to put them out of business, right? Wouldn't that be I think that's a rigged system. But the answer to that is less government involvement, not more. Less for the government to be picking which businesses they like versus those they don't like. That perhaps will be the great legacy of this administration, really. And the last 7.5 years of American history will be that we had an administration, we had people in charge who actually took the opinion, and not only they're very proud of it, that they were going to put certain businesses, legal, out of business. They were going to work as hard as they could to make it as tough for some people to make a living because they feel like you make a living at things that are not conducive to the environment or whatever. It certainly doesn't fit the political thought. And fossil fuels, or the so-called fossil fuels, somehow do not fit into that very idea here. But yet the people who complain about it fly around left and right getting awards about promoting green energy, and yet they're using fossil fuels to fly. Try to fly that plane on that solar panel. See how that works. Right? Try to run that air conditioner on that solar panel and see how well that works for you, or the automobile, or more importantly, the tank. This all a lot of this energy discussion really never gets to the point that without energy, you don't fight or defend the nation. Without energy, nothing operates. Without energy, there's no business. There's no corporations. Solar panels don't run a tank. Solar panels don't run a missile complex or a nuclear system. It just doesn't work that way. Yet we never really talk about that kind of thing. Doug Graham will join me in just a moment, former speechwriter for the Secretary of Labor in the Bush administration. We'll talk about some of the issues of the day. You can dial in, talk with us too as well. Phone number available to you, 800-347-1063. Text us, 71307. Email, iDougRadio@AOL.com. We'll be right back. More of the Vince Coakley Show. Don't go away.
Get today's show sent straight to your phone. Text podcast to 71307. This is the Vince Coakley Radio Program on 106.3 WORD.
The Sam's Club membership, you get incredible savings every time you shop. Sam's Club has everything you need to host the perfect cookout for less this Memorial Day holiday. Boneless, skinless chicken breast, only $1.88 per pound. USDA Choice Angus Beef Ribeye Steak, just $9.98 per pound. And members get $1 off an 8-pack of fresh sweet corn. Make Sam's Club your summer fun destination as you prep your cookout celebration this Memorial Day. Join and save. Sam's Club. Life is better in the club. See club for details.
Welcome to Staples.
Staples guy, you know what business people hate?
Stale coffee?
Ink.
Right.
We have to have it, and it's so darn expensive.
Well, Staples just cut ink and toner prices.
Really?
Add in our 110% price match guarantee, and our prices are unbeatable.
Great. Know what else every business owner hates?
What?
Paper cuts.
So true. For unbeatable prices on ink and toner, Staples. Make more happen.
Staples will match price plus refund 10% of the difference at checkout for items from retailers operating online in retail stores or products sold and shipped by Amazon. Limited time. See store or staples.com for details.
When news breaks, be the first to know. Text news to 71307. Stay informed with 106.3.
106.3 WORD.
An effort to help critically ill patients in the Palmetto State who have nothing to lose. Good morning. I'm Lee Rogers in the 106.3 WORD 24/7 News Center. A proposed law that would give terminally ill patients in South Carolina the right to try experimental forms of treatment not yet approved by the FDA has reached the state Senate floor. The Senate Medical Affairs Committee unanimously approved the so-called Right to Try Act last week, sending it to the floor, the bill passing the House back in March. King Street Democrat Cesar McKnight says it offers hope for those patients who have nothing to lose.
We hold all life precious. We want the ability to hold on to it as long as we can and fight for it, as long as we can keep it.
McKnight said that more than 24 other states already have such a law, although it's not clear how many patients have already taken advantage of it.
Most South Carolinians will not find themselves in the position to need it. But for those of us who are going through such a tragic ordeal as a terminal illness, it's a tool there to help them stay alive if they should so choose to.
There would still be hurdles for those patients seeking the experimental drugs. Their doctor and the FDA must approve the treatment. Pharmaceutical companies would not be obligated to provide the drug, and insurance providers would not be required to pay for coverage. The president lifts the U.S. arms embargo on Vietnam.
The president, during a news conference in Hanoi, said the decision to lift the arms embargo on Vietnam was not made in response to China's territorial moves in the South China Sea. Instead, he said it was based on the administration's desire to complete the process of moving toward normalization with Vietnam. The president said that while the arms embargo will be lifted, the sale of different types of arms will be dependent on the progress Vietnam makes on human rights. The arms ban was originally imposed on Vietnam during the Vietnam War. U.S. lawmakers and human rights activists had urged the president to press for greater human rights freedoms before lifting the arms embargo. At the White House, John Decker, Fox News.
The top U.S. commander in Afghanistan says the death of Taliban leader Mullah Mohammed Akhtar Mansour will have a disruptive effect on the Afghan insurgency. During a visit to northern Kunduz province, Resolute Support Commander General John W. Nicholson called Mansour an obstacle to peace, noting he had rejected offers from Afghan President Ashraf Ghani to participate in the peace process. A Massachusetts state police trooper is out of surgery and recovering after being wounded in the exchange of gunfire with a man suspected of fatally shooting another police officer in the town of Auburn. Suspect Jorge Zambrano was found hiding in a closet in a second-floor bedroom of a duplex in Oxford last night. Police say the 35-year-old shot and killed Auburn officer Ronald Tarantino during a traffic stop early Sunday morning. That's a look at news. The upstate's most trusted forecast from the 106.3 WORD Weather Center is next.
Hi, Terry here. In the past, I've done home improvements myself, watched some videos on YouTube, bought some tools, and just started taking stuff apart. And while I guess I could figure out how to replace my kitchen floors or install a new window, I've got a question. Why would I want to do that when I can have the experts at Sears Home Services do it for me? I mean, Sears has been in America's homes for 125 years. They're right here in town, and they're ready to take care of all my home improvement needs, from roofing to windows to kitchen remodeling to heating and cooling. Seriously, don't do it yourself. Trust the experts at Sears Home Services to take care of your house so you can enjoy your home. Call 888-SEARS-30 today. Again, that's 888-SEARS-30. And to all of you in the military, Sears Home Services is giving away $15,000 in home improvements in honor of Military Appreciation Month. If you're an active duty, retired, or veteran military homeowner, enter now for a chance to win. Go to shopyourway.com/military. No purchase necessary. See website for details.
This is Greg Ellie of the Prosperity Group. And if you're tired of the seesaw effect of the stock market and your 401k or your IRA is at risk, folks, there are safe money strategies out there. That's right. You can give me a call at 989-0176, 989-0176, and learn why our clients are finding that they can make a reasonable rate of return with their retirement accounts. Folks, I look forward to hearing from you. You can email me at greg@mymoneyissafe.com.
Get your summer started early with the new Acura from Bradshaw Acura. Right now, get 1.9% financing on every new Acura in stock, including the MDX, TLX, RDX, ILX, and RLX. Plus, at Bradshaw Acura, the lowest lease rates of the year. And sign and drive leases so you can keep your money for more important things, like summer vacation. Visit Bradshaw Acura today at 2450 Lawrence Road or BradshawAcura.com.
So you've been wanting a palm tree in your landscape, but you don't know what kind or where to find one. Hi, this is Steve with Blythewood Palms on Highway 14 in Greer. I sell and install palm trees here in the upstate. You can enjoy the Palmetto palm, our state tree, in your yard planted by our professional staff. Put them around the pool, next to the deck, or even in the front yard. Come by today, pick yours out, and we do the rest. Blythewood Palms on Highway 14 in Greer. Call 303-7967. That's 303-7967.
Get set to save now at your local Kubota dealer. Kubota's BX70 series subcompact tractors are easy to drive and work smoothly even in tight spaces. Get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years on a new BX70 and great customer instant rebates when you buy a front loader and second qualifying implement. Now through June 30th, 2016. Call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about costs and terms.
Visit Pickabee Tractor and Turf and Rogers Outdoor Equipment, or find your local Kubota dealer online at CarolinaKubotaDealers.com.
Now the upstate's most trusted forecast from the 106.3 WORD Weather Center. Good amount of sunshine today with temperatures getting up to a high of 79. Skies will be mainly clear tonight, the low down to 56. Tomorrow, warming up to 84 with mostly sunny skies and even warmer and a bit more humid Wednesday. The high getting up to 88 to 90. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore from the 106.3 WORD Weather Center.
Currently sunny, 70 degrees at GSP. Next news, top of the hour at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Lee Rogers with a Vince Coakley radio program on the Upstate's talk station, 106.3 WORD.
Talk to Vince on the Ingalls Advantage Talk Line at 800-347-1063.
Text 71307.
Interact now.
This is the Vince Coakley radio program.
Live and local.
On 106.3 WORD.
The Upstate's talk station.
And 1038, Vince Coakley Show. Doug Kellett sitting in. iDougRadio.com is my website. Find me on Twitter and Facebook. Phone number is 800-347-1063 if you'd like to be on with us here. Doug Graham, former speechwriter for the Secretary of Labor in the Bush administration, is going to join me. He worked for members of Congress and the U.S. Senate. It's always good to get his perspective about things. Doug, how are you doing on this Monday?
I'm doing probably better than I deserve.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that, sir. I want to chat with you for a moment about the this whole issue about energy, because you were with the Labor Department there for a while, and I hear all this attack about the coal industry. I hear this attack about oil and gas and fracking, and it really divides along Democrat versus Republican lines for sure. How many tanks do you think run actually on solar panels or some of this green energy? How many do you think missile systems actually operate with a solar panel?
Well,
the problem is, again, this administration and the left, they live in houses where, you know what, they can afford to put solar panels, even though a lot of the really rich ones like Al Gore don't. And so they think it's all very awesome because they can depend upon a power system that also keeps them supplied with energy. But for average Americans, no, you can't fire rockets. They're still chemical powered. You actually need nukes, which drives the environmentalists crazy because it's the one that and hydroelectric power, which they also hate. They both don't generate excess carbon, if that's your big concern. And a lot of it's just been the war against any large corporation that provides a service. They just don't like them, unless they're Google or Facebook.
Yeah, and that's no, you're right, and you're right. Even in the case of some of these, these rich entertainer types or whatever that advocate so much green energy, and they may have some solar panels. You're right, but you still can't really operate much power with them. The technology is not there. Why do you think when this discussion comes about, whether it's coal especially, because that's come up recently, that there's not more talk about, you know what, we can't defend the country without so-called fossil fuels? It's not possible right now. The technology is not there.
Well, it's not there. Not to mention, we also create jobs and make money selling it to other people, which is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the left just doesn't care. They don't like these kinds of jobs. They don't like the people that have these jobs because these people don't share the values of Silicon Valley or Hollywood. I mean, you have Leonard DiCaprio, for goodness sake, who flew over 8,000 miles in his private jet to go pick up an award for his environmental awareness. And he didn't even fly in a commercial plane. He flew on his own private jet. And these are the kind of people that are lecturing the rest of us on how we should burn money, how we should supply energy to our homes and our houses.
Yeah.
The factories may close down because unlike a Hollywood movie production, a factory has to work and it has to have a reliable supply of energy, or else it just stops working and nobody has a job and everybody's basically on the dole, which Democrats do seem to like.
Why do you think it is? Yeah, Doug, why do you think it is, though, that so many young people really buy into this idea, right? This, whether it's green energy or they're saving the planet in some various way, or they think that, I guess, running, fossil fuels in your automobile or whatever is a terrible thing. I mean, how many shows are on television? You probably have seen these tiny houses show where people are moving into basically 300 or 400 square foot houses because they think they're actually doing something to lower their so-called carbon footprint, that they're really doing something to help the rest of us here.
Usually those are the people. I guess if you're moving out of your parents' basement, tiny house is pretty awesome. But I've actually read some stories by people that actually have, if you're two people and then you have 2 or 3 kids, which again most of the left doesn't like, and you live in a tiny house, it's a recipe for something called craziness because people do need a little space to be on their own. But other people who have jobs and can't afford to just sort of go out and be themselves in their Birkenstocks out at Yellowstone Park or something like that, they know what it's like. Most people do like a certain amount of solitude, and that's why it's good to have a little space to spread out in.
Yeah, but I mean, there's right. But here's the thing: what I want to get to though is why is it they believe and they're flocking to this the socialism sort of pitch that's out there? Bernie Sanders mainly with this. Why is that? They think okay, so they have this belief system that somehow they are protecting the planet, that they are reducing this carbon footprint. You pay for the energy you use, by the way. It's not free. It doesn't just happen. But why do you think they have this sort of belief system? Is it just years of indoctrination in the the higher education system? What is it?
A lot of it is the years of indoctrination. I remember when Captain Planet came out with Ted Turner, and Captain Planet was this cartoon for those of you who don't remember. And basically, the evil bad guy didn't want to make money or control the world. He just wanted to pollute the environment. That's how insane it is. And so Captain Planet and the Planeteers, with Gaia, the Earth Mother, defended the environment against this horrible person whose only goal was to make everything dirtier and more awful. But again, since most of the Bernie supporters and a lot of Democrats, their idea of being their idea of collecting money or benefits is they're either in jail and they're just Democrat voters waiting to get out, or their kids get sponging off of their parents, sponging off student loans. So they don't really understand there's a connection between earning money and doing something useful.
Yeah, but
since they don't pay for their energy, they don't think of it as a cost.
But you're going to have to deal with this soon. You got boys, and they'll be getting college age, and you're going to have to determine exactly how much money I guess you want to spend to go to send them to college to find out that when they come back and find out how dumb you really are, Doug. That you didn't really know anything. That the professors with their PhDs, they're the ones that have all the answers.
Well, actually, I started one of my sons in a lawn care business, and it turns out we had battery powered ones because our yard is small, but we had to buy gas powered stuff to run the hedge trimmers and the lawn mowers that he would use to mow all the lawns, because you can't wait to recharge it for multiple jobs on a Saturday. And so he's actually learning the idea of energy and of cost and paying for things. And so he's probably not going to be a Democrat voter.
Well, you did go to Texas A&M. You did go to Texas A&M, which may be one of the last bastions of conservatism at a university out there in the sort of secular world, I guess. Doug, hold on. We'll come right back to you. Doug Graham is with me, former speechwriter of the Bush administration. He also worked for Saxby Chambliss in Georgia and also Kay Bailey Hudson in Texas as well. We'll be right back. More of the Vince Coakley Show. Don't go away.
Stimulating talk kicks off every hour on the Vince Coakley radio program, only on 106.3
WORD,
the Upstate's talk station.
Now the Upstate's most trusted forecast from the 106.3 WORD Weather Center. Good amount of sunshine today with temperatures getting up to a high of 79. Skies will be mainly clear tonight. 6 tomorrow, warming up to 84 with mostly sunny skies, and even warmer and a bit more humid Wednesday, the high getting up to 88 to 90. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore from the 106.3 WORD Weather Center.
The 106.3 WORD mobile site puts the power of information in the palm of your hand. Bookmark 106.3WORD.com in the browser on your phone.
Get breaking news, plus the Upstate's most trusted forecast, and access to 106.3 WORD's 24/7 weather radar.
Instant info at your fingertips, anytime on the 106.3 WORD mobile site.
I have a dare for you. It's the health dare. In fact, I've taken on the challenge myself, and early on, not only am I losing weight, but heartburn and reflux issues I've struggled with for a while have already disappeared. Let me tell you more about the Health Dare. It's a 90-day transformation of your body. You'll get slimmer, look better, feel better, and you'll get there the healthy way, guaranteed. If you don't see results in 30 days, you get your money back, so you have nothing to lose. You'll lose weight with Coach Dan with the Health Dare. No gym memberships, no chin-up bars, no heavy dieting. The Health Dare is for people who tried everything but failed. Men lose an average of 30 pounds their first month. Women lose an average of 15 to 20. Taking the Health Dare is easy. You simply go to thehealthdare.com, fill out the form, and you'll be contacted by a Health Dare coach for a free consultation that will get you started on your journey to a slimmer, better-looking body. Don't be afraid to get in that swimsuit anymore. Go to thehealthdare.com. Do it today.
The summer heat has returned. Carolina Fresh Farms can help you keep your yard looking its very best. We are your one-stop for all your fertilizer, seed, sod, and landscaping needs. Visit us today and let us help you plan your next weekend landscaping project. You've worked hard to make your lawn look its best. Now is the time to apply fungicide and insecticide to protect your investment. With 2 locations in the upstate, visit us at carolinafreshfarms.com to find the location nearest you. That's carolinafreshfarms.com.
I'm Tom Corbin, and I approve this message.
Abortion is an act of violence that kills an unborn child. I'm Lisa Van Riper, and I'm thankful for Senator Tom Corbin's strong support for laws in the SC Senate protecting innocent human life. He has been unwavering in his support for protecting the life of the unborn, most recently for those who can feel pain. State Senator Tom Corbin stands for life. Call Senator Corbin at 834-9915. Let him know that you stand with him.
This year marks the 30th anniversary of Mount Valley Foundation Services. How did they become the most trusted in the industry? By satisfying thousands of local customers.
They did a fantastic job. They did really well.
I'm very pleased.
I'm a satisfied customer. I know that with the warranty they provide, they're always there.
You can't beat the customer service that you got from them. It was fantastic.
Thank goodness, I found Mount Valley. It was awesome.
Mount Valley Foundation Services, celebrating 30 years of rock-solid foundations.
This hour on WORD is powered and charged by Battery Specialists. Like,
follow,
connect at
1063WORD.com.
This is the Vince Coakley Radio Program on 1063 WORD.
WORD.
The Upstate's talk station.
And 1049, Doug Kellett sitting in on WORD. Thanks for joining us here. And Doug Graham is also with me here, former speechwriter in the Bush administration for the Secretary of Labor, a cabinet position. We're talking about energy just a moment ago. And, you know, there's so much on the left that hammers this idea of so-called fossil fuels, but without energy, nothing operates. What do they say one of the big threats to the U.S. and our national security, Doug? Isn't it about the downing of the power grid? They call it sort of an EMP. People who kind of follow this, the preppers kind of know what it is, but it's some kind of detonation of a nuclear device high in the atmosphere that takes out all of the electronical systems that we have and everything. I mean, isn't that one of the big concerns, right? But the power grid doesn't operate without energy.
But dude, the Birkenstock crowd would say, but dude, if everyone had their own solar panels on the roofs, man, then they couldn't knock it out because there would be no grid to knock out, dude.
Oh, okay.
But of course, it's stupidity. It's because those things actually use electronics in their inverter systems, so they might get knocked out anyway. But again, the problem is even if and by the way, I actually designed a solar thermal collector that actually worked when I was living in California in Tehachapi, and I think alternative energy is neat and it's useful, but you need centralized 24-hour-a-day generation systems. Otherwise, you can't run factories and you can't run a civilization. But again, when most of the people are trust fund babies or people the amount of money they get paid is, insanely high, so they don't feel there's a connection between how many hours they work and the amount of money they get paid, those are the people that want to basically like giving away everybody else's money, not their own. And they also don't understand how society works. Again, what a screaming hypocrite you have to be to fly your private jet over to receive some sort of environmental award like Leonardo DiCaprio. And most of the socialists are applauding him because, wow, he's so aware.
Yeah.
He cares.
Well, that's it. It's all about.
Cares.
It's all about.
Obama and he takes his parasite family on these gigantic trips to go see these countries at huge expense to the taxpayers with a gigantic carbon footprint, and yet the left doesn't seem to have any heartburn with that.
What is the appeal, though, about the socialism by the young people? Because look at Venezuela. We got sort of Exhibit A right now, right before our very eyes. We've had plenty of examples in the 20th century where socialism failed. And in many cases, people died as a result of it. Why do you think? What is appealing about the idea of having the nanny state sort of take care of you? I don't see the appeal. I've always found it odd that people would like that.
Tapeworms think having legs is a real burden. A parasite loves being a parasite, except it hates the host because it feels humiliated by the fact that deep down inside it knows it's a parasite. And so a lot of these people, it's posing, and it's people who haven't had jobs, haven't really earned anything, and probably feel deep down inside a little bad about themselves. So they end up transmuting all that into righteous anger against all these other horrible people because, again, they're famous. Like the Kennedys are famous tightwads, but they were great at giving away other people's money to make themselves look great. Obama's kind of the same way. The money he's donated has only been basically donated to his causes. The Clintons and their famous foundation has a horrible record of the percentage of money they've collected actually going to help poor people, but it does seem to help them and their, Chelsea and all of their political hangers-ons like Sid Blumenthal, excuse me.
Yeah, but I mean, again, though, there's got to be some appeal here. You say, well, parasites don't want to have to operate. What? So you just want to change the marijuana laws and I guess smoke your weed out there and not worry about anything and get your bills paid for, and you feel like that's a great environment, a great life? Is that it? Let's just ruin the American dream because of it? Or?
Deep down inside, they still know they're parasites and they don't like it. But there are two ways you deal with, let's say, problems in your life. One is you deal with them, which takes a certain amount of work and a certain amount of self-awareness and humility and, basically confessing your sin or your faults and trying to correct them. But that takes work. It's a lot easier to just go, start raging against people that bring up the unfortunate fact that you're a parasite and sort of take their money because you're morally superior. I mean, it's it's psychology. Our society is now bending over itself to accommodate people that are mentally ill. It used to be if some male wanted to run around wearing dresses and get breast implants, you would laugh him off the block and you would make fun of him because he was mentally ill. Now that person gets an award for being the bravest woman ever by a magazine, and everybody knows who Caitlyn Bruce Jenner is, and we're supposed to say what a wonderful guy he is instead of a guy that's a fairly sick individual that feels like he has to wear dresses.
That's a good point, because I think back to perhaps one of the most famous TV shows of all time, MASH, in which one of the principal characters in the program, Klinger, throughout the entire length of the series, would dress as a woman with the idea that could get him a discharge from the military because he didn't want to be in Korea fighting. And so this is the whole gag that's going on, is that he's a cross-dresser, but he's not really mentally ill, but he's using it as a ruse to somehow get out of the military. You couldn't even do that today. They'd promote him, right?
That's right. Yeah, Klinger would probably become the head of the MASH camp if this were today's army.
Yeah, or maybe maybe a head of the Secretary of Defense, or a head of the military or something at some point, because as you're pointing out, that makes him more brave than everybody else.
Exactly.
You think about that. I mean, people laughed at that character, right? So have the attitudes changed that much since the 70s? And I guess that's when that show was popular, right? 1970s. And that was one of the more popular TV programs of all time, I think.
It was. And some would argue there's a lot of stuff that Hollywood did to sort of open the wedge. For instance, Bosom Buddies, with Tom Hanks. And, and they're guys dressing up so they can live in the apartment. The problem now is I don't know if you could rebroadcast those bits, because some people would find it terrible and an unsafe place to see people laughing at Klinger, in a lady's coat and hat, or laughing at Tom Hanks, and I forget who the co-star was of Bosom Buddies, dressing up as girls and people laughing. That would be oppressive. Yeah, but once again, making the point how things have changed in attitudes of this country over a long period of time. Well, 30 years anyway. Doug, thank you so much. Good having you on the show here this morning, sir. And we'll be right back. 10:56 our time. We got a news update top of the hour. Another hour of the Vince Coakley Show coming up. I'm Doug Kellett, sitting in 106.3 WORD.
From the parapolitics to the paranormal.
If you want to connect, it's later. Maybe I'm freaking out.
Ground Zero, tonight at 10 on 106.3 WORD.
If you have sleep apnea and you're tired of dragging around your big, bulky home CPAP device wherever you travel, what I'm about to tell you may sound too good to be true. MiniCPAP.com now offers a portable device that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. Even better, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for a full 10 days. Call us now, 1-800-500-9785. Transcend is the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It gives you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. It's true. You can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere, anytime you want. Call minicpap.com now for your 10-day in-home trial. 1-800-500-9785. That's 1-800-500-9785.
Roof leaks can cause serious damage to the structure of your home, leading to mold, which can affect your loved ones. Decker Home Repair can replace or repair your roof. Decker's licensed and insured team of professional roofers have served upstate residents with dependable service and quality workmanship for over 20 years. Decker Home Repair and Remodeling can fix broken shingles, weather damage, or inspect your roof for